Nikhita, and today I'm going to be talking about the effects of sleep deprivation on teens. So for an overview, studies have shown that teens should be getting roughly 9 hours of sleep each day. Therefore, students that don't get 8 to 10 hours of sleep lose their ability to succeed dramatically. Students will have trouble learning and processing information, coping with stress, and staying focused at school. In a quote by Stanford Medicine, more than 87% of high school students in the United States get far less than the recommended 8 to 10 hours, and the amount of time they sleep is decreasing, a serious threat to their health, safety, and academic success. So how much sleep is enough sleep? Studies show that the lack of sleep changes the activity in some parts of the brain. If you're sleep deprived, you may have trouble making decisions, solving problems, controlling your emotions and behavior, and coping with change. Sleep deficiency has also been linked to risk-taking behavior. In another quote by Johns Hopkins, teens experience a natural shift in circadian rhythm. So what is circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is the 24-hour internal clock in our brain that regulates cycles of alertness and sleepiness by responding to light changes in our environment. According to Johns Hopkins pediatrician Michael Ketti, teens need 9 to 9.5 hours of sleep per night. That's an hour more than they needed at age 10. Additional sleep supports the developing brain, as well as physical growth spurts. It also helps protect them from serious consequences like depression or drug use. So how does mental health relate to sleep deprivation? Sleep deficiency has also been linked to risk-taking behavior, which also causes other mental health problems related to other factors. Common symptoms. So common symptoms of sleep deprivation include fatigue, mood changes, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, paranoia, and hallucinations. So for my gap, I wanted to know more about how does sleep deprivation affect academic achievements and daily activities in teens. So when I was researching about sleep deprivation in teens, I found out that most of the research I was finding was about the mental health effects of sleep deprivation, so I wanted to focus on more individual factors like academic achievements and daily activities, which is something that I can relate to. So for my methodology, I decided to take a survey during school that asks teens how their lack of sleep affects them academically and daily. So for my waiver, to allow students to take the survey, parents had to give permission by signing a waiver. This waiver states that students will remain anonymous and responses can be withdrawn at any time. So for my survey, it included 7 questions that were scale-based, and they were from 1 to 5, 1 meaning strongly disagree and 5 meaning strongly agree. So for my first question, I wanted to ask, do you get the recommended hours of sleep on a school night? And majority said that they strongly disagree with the getting recommended hours of sleep. So for hours of sleep, research suggests that a teenager needs between 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night, and most adolescents only get about 6.5 to 7.5 hours of sleep per night, and some get even less. So for my second question, does sleep deprivation affect your ability to concentrate and stay focused during classes or while studying? So most of the responses were leaning towards strongly agree. So for concentration, sleep deprivation leaves your brain exhausted, so it can't perform its duties as well. It may be more difficult to concentrate or learn new things. The signals your body sends may also be delayed, decreasing your coordination and increasing risk. To add on, sleep deprivation also negatively affects your mental abilities and emotional state. You may feel more impatient or prone to mood swings. It can also compromise decision-making processes and creativity. So for my third question, do you struggle with time management when you're sleep deprived? Does it impact your ability to complete assignments and meet deadlines? From this question, most of the responses said 4. So for time management, when we don't manage our time, sleep is sacrificed to complete last-minute projects. As a result, we may struggle to fall asleep because their body experiences higher cortisol levels and less melatonin. So melatonin is a hormone that maintains the circadian rhythm or sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin production is highest at night and lowest during the day. And melatonin slows our bodies down and prepares it for sleep. But if cortisol levels are high, melatonin and struggles to help us sleep. So for question 4, has sleep deprivation affected your motivation and interests in your schoolwork or extracurricular activities? So majority said strongly agree for this question. Motivation and interests. Sleep deprivation can leave you feeling tired, less creative, and make it more difficult to stay focused on important things. Sacrificing sleep for work, then working more to make up for lost productivity can become an exhausting cycle. So for question 5, have you ever felt too tired to attend school or extracurricular activities because of sleep deprivation? 10 people said 4 and 5 said 5. So the effects of tiredness. When teens don't get enough sleep, their body and mind start to feel the effects. Over time, sleep deprivation can lead to more serious health problems. Without enough sleep, the body begins to accumulate sleep debt. As sleep debt grows over time, it begins to take a toll on mental and physical health. Long-term sleep deprivation can reduce quality of life and may increase the risks of health issues. So for my next question, do you find it challenging to balance a busy schedule with school, extracurricular activities, and the need for adequate sleep? So most of the responses said that they agreed. Balancing schedules. Trying to follow a schedule while sleep deprived can significantly impact performance. Without enough sleep, processes throughout the body work suboptimally. Neurons in the brain become overworked, impairing thinking, slowing physical reactions, and leaving people feeling emotionally drained. These short-term side effects of sleep deprivation can wreak havoc on a day's work. So for my last question, do you think sleep has an effect on your overall well-being and academic success? And the majority said that they strongly agreed. So for well-being and academic success, inadequate sleep decreases general alertness and impairs attention, resulting in slowed cognitive processing. Lack of adequate sleep also interferes with the function of brain structures critical to cognitive processes. So, does sleep deprivation affect our academic activities and daily achievements? For decreased effectiveness, chronic sleep deprivation can lead to cumulative decrease in cognitive and physical performance throughout the day. This can affect our ability to carry out daily tasks efficiently and effectively. For impaired social and physical activities, lack of sleep can disrupt our normal social interactions and limit our ability to engage in physical activities. It can also affect our mood and make us more prone to irritability and frustration. For reduced cognitive function, sleep deprivation can impair various cognitive functions that are essential for learning and academic success. This includes memory consolidation, attention, focus, and problem-solving skills. For lower grades, chronic sleep deprivation can have a negative impact on academic performance over time. So my limitations of my methodology. So for low response rates, these lead to biased results if students choose to respond are different in significant ways from those who do not. For self-reporting bias, students may not accurately report their sleep patterns, maybe because they don't know how to follow their sleep patterns or they're not aware enough of them. And for selective participation, they may or may not represent the entire school since only a small portion took this survey. So for my implications, what can the school implement? I think the school should implement social emotional health and sleep promotion programs. Schools can promote healthy sleep habits as part of a broader approach to supporting students' social emotional health. These programs aim to educate students about the importance of sleep, provide strategies for improving sleep hygiene, and encourage healthier sleep habits. So for future research, I would explore more individual factors. I focused on daily activities and academic achievements because I believe that I could relate to those more. But more individual factors include genetics, personality traits, and underlying health conditions, which can influence sleep deprivation and its consequences. My resources.
Okay, my question for you is, how is the method process you chose aligned with your purpose of your research, and which methods did you consider and reject?
So when I picked this topic, I wanted to pick something that I could relate to. So when I chose sleep deprivation, I knew that I wanted to take a survey I also thought thought about interviewing people, but I thought interviews were like more personal, and since I was doing the scale-based range, you didn't really need to include that much information. It was if you agreed or disagreed. So I didn't want to like dig too deep in it because it's like a broad topic. So when I was doing my survey, I was able to gather as many responses as I could, which provided me with the information that I could also agree to, and I knew other students were also feeling this way with sleep deprivation.
Thank you.
What additional questions emerged during your research?
So the additional questions that I had when I was researching about sleep deprivation were the other individual factors. But since I was focusing on two factors such as daily activities and academic achievements, I was able to see the correlation between daily activities and academic achievements and how there were similarities in sleep deprivation. So I was wondering if there were other individual factors such as my future research, like genetics and personality traits, how those can also have the similarities that I had in my individual factors.
Which of your sources was the most influential, and in what way is that influence apparent in your final conclusion?
So in my slideshow, I had quotes and information from Johns Hopkins, and I felt that was the most influential because they also had a lot of research on sleep deprivation that I was able to like add on to in my research, and I was also able to align with my survey to see that even though I did a small portion of people that took my survey, there was Johns Hopkins had a broader sample size, so my sample size and the broader sample size had common like data.
Any other questions from the group?
Are you sleep deprived?
Yes.
Why? Why are you guys collectively as a group so sleep
So I
deprived?
feel like, well, the two individual factors that I took, I decided to do those because they related to me most. So I feel like those two factors have an influence on why I'm sleep deprived. For example, schoolwork. If I stress about schoolwork too much, it's cutting into my sleep. For example, if I'm doing a presentation and I'm studying for it the night before, I'm awake till like 12, making sure I have all my points down. So that's also like an effect of sleep deprivation, stressing and worrying about schoolwork.
I have another question. Was there anything in your survey about the effect of phone scrolling and missing sleep?
No, but I would love to add that as the next
I
survey.
think in future reference,
Yeah.
that's a question I'd really like to know,
That's actually pretty interesting.
because that's why I was,
Any other questions at all from the audience?